I hear a lot of things too, that if it's not like the big tech company, nobody's sponsoring you, right?
That's another one, yes.
Yeah, like if it's not Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Amazon, Intel, all those ones.
No way that I was coming from Nigeria, and I even said I had a Nigerian accent. I should work on that. So work on this. Work on the Nigerian accent. You sound too Nigerian.
Hello guys, welcome again to my YouTube channel. My name is Ujunwa Okeke.
And I'm Choma Ikomadu.
So guys, if you've been following my YouTube journey, Choma flashed her face like sometime. There was a video I made when I went to California. I'll be putting the link up above. So she flashed her face and a lot of you guys loved her and you still love her. And I've been begging this damsel here to come and grace this channel. You guys, I had to buy one bottle of champagne, cold one.
Don't forget Nkwabi.
Look at her. I had to buy it to appease to her to come and grace this channel again. But anyway,
I'm glad to be with you guys today. Finally, we're making this happen.
Yes. So guys, I'm so happy that she's here. So we have a very interesting topic. No, before that, thank you so much for clicking on this video to watch it right now. I truly appreciate that. My returning subscribers, blow them kisses now.
We love you.
We love you all very much.
Being faithful followers.
Yes, please guys. And if this is your first time of coming across this channel, you're most welcome. This is a lovely platform where I create content around education, lifestyle, talk about experiences in the US. So yes, check out my previous video, and if you like what you see, do not forget to hit that subscribe button, okay, and follow this channel. So today guys, today's topic is really juicy, like this cup of smoothie that we are drinking.
Fresh and juicy.
My sweet friend here recently transitioned from F-1 visa status to, oh hallelujah, somebody, it's not easy. She recently transitioned from F-1 visa status to H1B, okay? So that is like a work authorization that permits you to work legally in the United States of America. And a lot of international students read that a lot, okay? If you're an international student or if you're following on with the journey of being a student in America and everything that comes with it, you understand what I mean. So, she baby here, Choma Jesus.
Chibeke. Get it right.
Chibeke. Okay, sorry. Chibeke here has surpassed that. So she has it, and she'll be telling us. I have 5 questions for her today. I'll be asking her those questions, and she'll be answering. So all of us will learn and understand what this whole journey is all about, and also listening to a living testimony, right? Somebody that have gone through this process, succeeded, and everything. So we'll be listening to her answer the questions today, and we'll be learning a lot, right?
Yes, guys, I am really happy to be here. It took me a long time, but the aim of being here today with you guys is to inspire and motivate. I know that during the course of my journey, one of the problems I had, or the setbacks I had, was not having anyone to look up to, for this kind of information. Finding somebody who has gone through the process that can tell you that this can happen, this is real. So I'm hoping that I can be that person to most of you guys.
So guys, let's get right into the questions. So Chibebe, the very first question I have for you is, how did you get here? Like, come to the USA, how did you get here? And what did you do?
Okay, so I completed my undergrad in Nigeria. I went to Covenant University.
Hey, see you, baby.
and after a while, I worked for a bit, completed my NYSC, worked for 1 year, then decided it was time to pursue my master's degree program. And that was how I came to the US. US was my first choice, and by God's grace, I was able to go through the entire process of getting an admission and coming to the United States of America. Please go back to Juice videos. They're very informative on how you can get through those steps.
Yeah.
My university was in St. Louis, Missouri. I came here for an 18-month program, and then while I was here, it was a master's in finance. And while I was here, I completed an MBA as well. So I've been here for a total of 3 years now. Yeah, that was my educational step. And then after my education in Missouri, I moved over to Colorado, Denver, Colorado, for work.
Oh, yeah, that's a little bit about Trevor's background. Like she said, there are a lot of videos on my channel that will tell you or walk you through those processes if you want to come to the US to study. So the second question that I have for Chibebe, Asan Petenwa.
Ego Yibo.
Ego Yibo, Ego Vin. Show them. Okay, now another question. Are you working?
Yes, I'm currently working.
Okay, so what document did you use? Because I know that you came with F-1 visa, right?
Yes.
So how are you able to work after school?
Okay, during the course of my graduate program, while I was still on F-1 visa, I applied for the OPT. I think it was 3 months prior to my graduation. What the OPT does is that it authorizes students to work post-graduation. For non-STEM majors, like those in the business field, arts, social sciences, it gives you a 1-year work authorization. It took me about, after application, it took me about six months to get my EAD card that finally authorized me to work. So the OPT authorized me to work for 1 year as a student, so a partial student. You are getting post-completion work experience. And for those in the STEM field, science, technology, engineering, and maths, it gives you 3 years of post-completion experience work authorization. So our counterparts in the STEM field had 3 years to go through this entire process, and that increases your chances of getting a work authorization just by probability.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So the third question that I have for Chibebe here is, how are you able to transition from OPT to a full-time job?
Actually, my OPT experience was a full-time job experience. By God's grace, I was able to secure a full-time position while I was applying for a job during my OPT. After I moved to Colorado from Missouri, I went through a lot. Oh my God.
Tell me about it.
From the job search, I utilized all the possible platforms: LinkedIn, Indeed, Glassdoor, Zip Recruiters, and I'm sure a couple of other platforms that I still get spam emails from, right, just from using them. So I had the opinion that networking was a Nigerian thing and that wouldn't work here. You know, the act of talking to somebody on the inside and hoping that they would push your resume and, you know, bring you in, but it's actually a very important means of job search here. So I also used that method. I spoke with people, I tried to reach out to recruiters, you know, try to get them to know me as a person, and that was actually one of the effective ways that I got to the stage of even interviewing with most of these companies. when I just got out of school, I was only applying to internship positions and at most graduate trainee positions. But like, oh, this company is having a graduate program this year, I'll try to apply. But over time, I think I had exhausted, I think that's what really happened. I had exhausted all the internship and graduate trainee applications, and then I was like, why not try my luck and see if I can get a full-time position with the company. And that was how I started looking into full-time jobs, and by God's grace, that's what I have right now. So I'd never had an internship. I went straight from school to a full-time, well-paying job position. So that's another thing that I would like for you guys to know. You do not have to restrict yourself to internships. You don't have to restrict yourself to graduate programs. I'm not saying you shouldn't try. I'm not saying that they're not good enough. I'm saying do not restrict yourself to them. Make the effort to apply to those job positions that are appealing to you, those full-time, well-paying, salaried positions. Apply to them. Exhaust all your options. I did that, and I can say that it works too.
So the fourth question that I have for Chioma today is that I know that, okay, you got your master's in finance and you did MBA, right? So those are not in STEM, right?
Yes, that's entirely the business field.
Yeah, so the business field. So you've actually exhausted your 1 year OPT. So how are you still able to keep working with your company?
I do have to bring in, or mention the fact again that I am a strong Christian. I am a very serious follower of Christ.
Yes, so Chioma Jesus.
And a lot that I have experienced have been faith-based. I believe that God really wanted to use me to inspire people and motivate people. So from the very first day of my job, I did mention to my employer that I was on OPT and I needed to be sponsored. So I was very upfront from day one. After my interview, I was lucky enough. I don't know if this would have deterred them from giving me the job, but luckily for me, I wasn't asked this question during my interview. I wasn't asked if I needed sponsorship.
Okay.
Yeah, so the topic didn't come up until my first day of resumption. I literally went to my first day of work thinking I still hadn't gotten a job. Like, I left the house and I told my brother, I'm coming.
Let me reach you, I'm coming.
I'm like, let me just go and check out these guys, because I don't really think they understand
your situation.
That I am on OPT. Did they really just give me this job and they didn't ask about my work authorization? And it's finance, so it's very important that they understand your background and everything, because you're dealing with money. On my first day, and I was thinking to myself that was going to be my last day. Now I'm just pretty much going there so these guys can get to know me and kick me out the door and be like, no, that's not exactly what we're looking for. We cannot sponsor you.
Bye.
That was what I thought. But I went to work. By God's grace, I had a conversation. Before I went, I prayed. I asked God for favor. I asked him to speak on my behalf, go ahead of me and create a path for me. So my first day of work, I was asked for my work authorization. And I remember the HR lady standing and waiting for me. I opened my purse. I took out my EAD card confidently, and I handed it over to her. I'm like, that's my work authorization. And she was confused. It's like, what's this thing you just gave me? I think she was expecting, I don't know how it works there, or like, oh, I'm a citizen or something. I don't know. But I gave her my EAD card with confidence, like, oh yeah, here. And I kept on working. And she was like, oh, is this it? I said, yes. The straight face, like, yeah.
No time.
No. She took it away, made a copy of it, brought it back to me, and she was like, oh, how does this work? That was her question. And I said, oh, it's an EAD, it's my work authorization, it lasts for a year, the expiration is on there, so it's going to expire next year. And she was like, oh, okay. And she walked away, gave me my original EAD card back and walked away.
Wow.
Some minutes later, my boss came to me and said that we're a bit confused about your work authorization. How does it work? I said it basically means that I have 1 year to work, and I have 1 year authorized to work, and then I need sponsorship.
Just
Keep
like
working.
that.
And he looked at me and was like, oh, that means it's urgent because it's gonna expire next year. I'm like, yeah, it's quite urgent, and I need to know where the company is at, because I'm gonna use up my 1 year working for you guys. So I would need to know if this is something that you can take care of. And my boss is just like, oh, yeah, I'm sure we'll speak to our lawyers. Like, I'm really sorry, we've not done this before. Please be patient with us. It was a miracle, Uju.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like, be patient with us. I will speak to the lawyer. I'm sure we can. So a company can sponsor you, right? I was like, yes. The company I'm with just has to go and extend it. That was how I said it.
Yes.
Just has to extend it so I can keep working.
Wow.
And he was like, okay, we'll speak to the lawyer and we'll find out the documentation required to get this done. And that
was it.
That was how I returned to work the following day. And I knew I had a job. You have to be confident, you have to be brave, or have strong faith depending on your belief system. Mine was my faith in God and his ability to do anything. So my faith was very strong. I went there, I made my intentions known, and I was able to overcome that hurdle.
This girl right here
has
really transitioned from F1 visa status to H1B.
Yes.
Which is really cool.
Yeah.
So now, like, I know there's a lot of things out there, about H1B, a lot of myths about H1B visa, right?
Yes,
so my question for you right now is, what were those myths that you encountered during this period, right? Because I know you did a lot of research, because I know. So what were the myths that were out there that you encountered or that you saw?
Yeah. In order to answer this question, I'll need your help too.
Okay.
Just so we can talk through, because there are so many of them out there.
Oh,
there
yeah.
are a lot of naysayers that'll tell you that you can't do this, it's super stressful, don't even bother. Just as international students that we were, we heard a lot of them.
Yeah.
For me, the biggest one was that I wasn't a STEM major.
Oh.
Yes. I had one guy right, and this is my biggest one. I'm sharing this part because a lot of you are going to have those people in your life. You're going to encounter them. I had one guy who said to me that I was naive for thinking that as a finance professional I was going to get sponsored. He said there was no way that I was coming from Nigeria, and I even said I had a Nigerian accent. I should work on that. So work on this. Work on the Nigerian accent. You sound too Nigerian. You should let them know.
God.
Plus, what did you study again? Finance.
Oh my God.
You need to stop being naive and face reality. You can't.
Only because you're not in STEM major.
Yes.
So that was the biggest one.
That was the biggest one for me, because that day I was super sad. I was depressed. I thought, it's over. Because this guy was working. He was the one person who had transitioned to H1B that I found.
That you found. And
yes,
this
and
was
that
the advice
that was what he told me. Yes.
Can you imagine?
So
it was not
very
encouraging at all. Yeah.
Yes.
So for me, I hear a lot of things too, that if it's not like the big tech company, nobody's sponsoring you, right?
That's another one, yes.
Yeah, like if it's not Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Amazon, Intel, all those ones.
Yeah.
Baby girl, baby boy, just forget it, because you're not getting sponsored. But Chama here is like
I work for a mid-sized company in the entertainment industry. I'd never heard of them.
And how did you get that job again?
Oh, through Indeed, though.
One click
apply.
Let
me tell you, that's another thing. I need to go deep into this because it's something that annoys me.
Good.
Big companies with their application process, write this cover letter. Make sure that it is brand new. It has all the right keywords. Show us through video interviews. Have a video of yourself. I think I've had that one. So I've been through so much. Make a video of yourself. Like they call it the video resume or something like that. I'm not saying that all of this is bad. I'm just saying that it doesn't have to be that hard.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be a big company.
It doesn't have to be a big company. Small companies, mid-sized companies that no one knows anything about, that in industries you've never even encountered before you came to the United States, can still sponsor you and get approved. Yes, my company is one of those companies. Just from what I said earlier, you can tell that it was their first time even encountering a foreign worker.
Yep.
They looked at my EAD and asked me, what is this? What is this? Is this authorization? You can imagine. So they didn't know anything about it, but they were willing to help. They were willing to sponsor. So they went and did their research.
Yep.
So don't believe that a company has to stress your life out.
Yeah.
A company has to be big and be hired. Go and there was this. Remember this website we spoke about?
Yeah, there is one website that they will tell you companies who have applied for H1B.
Yeah.
Okay, they accepted a certain number of people, and these were a certain number of people that were rejected. It's just crazy. Like, internet has a lot of information that when you feed through those information, you get depressed, you get confused. Like, oh my god, like. Ozana, Agapayaga, like, is this, are you even gonna do this, right? Is it what
I don't do that. That was my checklist. I used that company as my guide. Like, I was like, oh, Amazon is on the list, I'll apply to Amazon. Intel is on the list, I'm applying to Intel. That was pretty much my guide.
Yeah, like she told me, like, her company right now, it was just like, let me, you know, all those like things you do reluctantly, let me just apply. You never know.
It's one click now, so I'm not really putting my time into it. That was how I applied to this job.
Why all those?
Also mention, I only had one interview. One Ofunkporo interview. That's all I had. 3. You will go first, so you meet the team. You have the phone interview, then the video interview, then the in-person interview, then what they call it, like they call it like a hire day, where you go in and you network with other people that are also interviewing for the same job as you are.
Yeah, it's just. So the last question that I have for Chief Bebe today is, what were the setbacks, right? Because in as much as we're saying it like this, it was not a smooth ride. It was not from film. You know, so what were the setbacks that you encountered along the way?
I think the very first was with my EAD. So the EAD gives you 3 months to get a job. Is it 3 or 6?
No, 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah,
yes.
After graduation, you have to get a job.
Yeah. So as soon as your EAD card is issued to you, you have 3 months to get a job. And then you have 1 year work authorization. So I felt like I was running out of time. That was something that really scared me. That was a major setback. And I think I got my job on the 3rd month.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. Right before I ran out of time. The other setback that I encountered were legal issues, legal setbacks as a result of laws and proclamations affecting H1B holders and H1B pursuants.
That's the word.
Like us, yes. There were a lot of new laws implemented even before, and even some laws that ended up not even being implemented, that just caused a lot of anxiety and discouraged companies from wanting to have anything to do with H1B visa seekers. So that was another thing that was another setback. And finally, as you guys all know, the pandemic hit hard and had economic impacts on companies, and my company was not an exception. We were set back financially, and that affected my visa process because, as you know, or might not know, part of the process of getting an H1B is that a company would pay for that process. They would pay legal fees, and they would pay for the actual visa, which comprises of government administrative fees. So when I happened, fortunately, because I will not be unfortunate,
never.
Fortunately for me, I happened to be seeking this in a year like 2020, and it wasn't easy for my company. So even though they were willing, they were hit with this
the whole pandemic thing.
Those were the major setbacks that I encountered during this journey. In summary.
In summary, oh my god, my baby girl transitioned from F1 visa status to H1B. Can you praise the Lord in the comment section for her? But yeah guys, I just hope you all enjoyed this video. I know you did, and you learned a lot of things. If you want to see part 2, where this my baby girl for life, you know, where she will come and tell us the step-by-step process that she took with the lawyer in her company, the documents she submitted, like the money that was involved. You know, there are a lot of things out there in the internet, but she is a living testimony, and she just recently did it. So yeah, if you want to see a part 2 where she will share her procedure with the lawyer, the money involved, you know, how they went, the documents that she submitted, tell us in the comment section, and I'll be bringing this damsel again to grace this YouTube channel. In the meantime, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Okay, like, share with your friends and family, share with everybody, village people, husband, wife, anybody, in-laws. Share with anybody that is about to do this process, or that has been in doubt, you know.
Yeah.
Just share the video, let this video go viral. Share
with your family, share with your mentees, share with people in your network, former classmates,
exactly.
Yes.
Share with them, please.
Share with people.
So guys, thank you so much for watching, and if you're not subscribed, you know what to do. Okay, subscribe, oh. Oh yeah guys, do well to hit that subscribe button and like. Until next time, bye guys.
Bye.
Mwah.